The Holy Gospel according to St. John, the 18th chapter.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Pilate entered the headquarters again, summoned Jesus, and asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus answered, "Do you ask this on your own, or did others tell you about me?" Pilate replied, "I am not a Jew, am I? Your own nation and chief priests have handed you over to me. What have you done?" Jesus answered, "My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were from this world, my followers would be fighting to keep me from being handed over to the Jews and to you. But as it is, my kingdom is not from here." Pilate asked him, "So you are a king?" Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. For this I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify to the truth. Everyone who belongs to the truth listens to my voice." The Gospel of our Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Christ.
Please be seated. Well, this morning I have an admission to make. You see, every couple years, walking the line of obsession, I become an Anglophile, especially when a big event happens with the royal family of England. And by the way, an Anglophile is someone who loves all things British. And for these few days, I follow the pomp and circumstance of the ceremonies, stay in the loop of all the drama and who is wearing what. And I especially keep track of the clergy of the ceremonies, like during Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding when Bishop Michael Curry, the presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church, and who was from Chicago, was preaching. My attention to who is marrying who, which babies are being born, is unwavering. And for some unknown reason, I have a desire to know what brooch the Queen is wearing and what jewels are in it. And over the past few weeks, Kelly and I have been watching movies like The King's Speech and the Netflix series The Crown, where the audience gets a glimpse behind the curtain of the world's most powerful royal family, who at one time was the head of the vastest empire in the whole history of the world, that spanned a third of the globe's land and its peoples. And curiosity often leads me to wonder what it would be like to live as a British king or a prince, at least for a short while. And living as a person whose most minor of actions carries significant effects on people all around the world. I often wonder what the exclusive royal lifestyle would be like. What it would be like to have servants and be able to travel anywhere at a moment's notice. And all around the world, people of royalty have the ability to change the way common people feel about their own cultures and even their own outlook on life. No matter if there's big news developing somewhere, like a national tragedy, or if someone's own personal life is in turmoil. If there's a royal wedding going on, people's focus turns to what hat the Queen is wearing that day. And no doubt, people all around the globe are greatly influenced by the actions of these very few. So when we think of kings and queens as rich or famous people or even above human, we might wonder what it means to proclaim as Christ our King on a day such as Christ the King Sunday, today. And for so long in human history, kings and emperors were given divine status. Their rule and dominion not just ordained by God, but they themselves are gods. And in the Roman Empire, as we heard when Pilate is addressing Christ, Caesar was a god. To say otherwise was not just heresy, it was treason, worthy of death. Caesar's actions were always right because he was divine. So when Pontius Pilate questions Jesus in our reading today, he is discerning that Jesus is committing treason, asking whether or not he is the king of the Jewish people. And we can relate to Pilate and his questions, trying to figure out what's going on. So who are you the king of, and what lands do you control? trying to get hard answers right before a difficult decision. And Jesus' answer is perplexing, as it always is. He proclaims that his kingdom is not this world, but is a heavenly kingdom where God reconciles all things together. If he were the king of the Jewish people, wouldn't they fight so that he would be released? But God's power is not to prove strong-arm politics or to show an ability to destroy earthly military powers. So today, when we celebrate Jesus as our King, we give joy to his rule over all creation. But if we're not talking about military power or wealth, what exactly do we mean? Imagining Jesus as king might bring up renderings of him draped in rare furs, with a glimmering crown on his head made of the rarest jewels. Or we can think of Queen Elizabeth and her fancy hats. We might be tempted to view Jesus' throne made of fine gold and his crown of jewels. But we know that Jesus was not fixated on earthly wealth or power. He is a different kind of royalty. His power was not in military might or economic domination like Caesar's, but is based in love and care for the most vulnerable. Jesus rules from his throne on the cross, a crown made of thorns. And his right-hand people denied him, betrayed him until the very last moments of his life. Jesus was God incarnate in the world, who came to show us that God's grace and love is far greater and more lasting than any empire we have on earth, able to resurrect life itself from the most brutal of Roman deaths. God's power is wrapped in caring for others, not amassing power, but freely distributing the things that give for life, like healing and relationships. And because Jesus lived and died for our sake, showing that forgiveness and reconciliation weaves itself into the hardest places of our hearts, we know that God's power is love and grace. So today, brought together by the Holy Spirit, Jesus lives in us. Yes, we too are a part of this royal history. Like so much of what Jesus stands for, his kingdom is unfamiliar to our systems on earth. Jesus' royalty spreads out and encompasses all of us. It is the most accessible to all. And like the Queen of England's jewels in Jesus' crown are the birds of the air in the Huron River just behind our building here in Ypsilanti. Christ's scepter and his crown are you and me, the crown jewels. Because we are worth more than all the jewels and riches in all the world. And all of creation, in our care for one another, is God's royalty. Yes, we are all queens and kings in the gospel, because we are the very hands and feet of Jesus. When we encounter one another, think of how we would speak to the Queen of England, because we are all members of God's royalty. And when we think of Christ as our King, we are encouraged to be called to God's work in our midst. Ordained by God because we have the living God in our very hearts. So perhaps the next hit series on Netflix will look and feel different from The Crown. Instead of looking at the exclusive life of the Queen of England, it would feature stories of God's accessibility, of faithful disciples who live in God's royal callings every single day, making royal edicts on healing the sick and feeding the hungry. We would hear about good things happening because of Jesus' love for us all. So today, when we hear Jesus say that his kingdom is not of the world, he speaks to something much, much larger. He says that we are all a part of this kingdom, where we follow a king who encourages us and loves us, and who died for us and is the most accessible to us. When we have forgiveness for ourselves and for others, we are writing our own edicts as royalty in God's kingdom. Christ is always with us because he lives in us. And while we end our worshiping year with Christ the King Sunday and begin another next week with the first Sunday of Advent, we can echo preacher Suzanne Dillahunt's words as she says, "This is an opportunity here and now for us to tell the good news of Jesus as the Anointed One who brings God's reign into reality. We can live in the hope that the darkness of this world is not forever, for the Messiah has come and will come again." Shouts of "Long live the King" mean that we keep the gospel alive by following Jesus, our King, who lives in us as we bring his resurrected life to a hurting world in need of good news. So today, I and we all can say, "Long live the King who rules from the cross to bring new life and hope to us all." Thanks be to God.